And it's interesting. What do you think is wrong with Jason Tatum?
I don't necessarily think that anything is wrong with him. I think that he, I heard a quote the other day that pressure brings out the quality of your training. So whether he is, because he's kind of been known not to show in the fourth except in that game 6.
Yeah.
He showed up, had 16 huge points, was hitting shots finally. That shows that he, didn't lose that confidence. Had 50 in game 7. Miami's making really good adjustments. They are going zone like they usually do. That's one thing I like about Spo is they practice that zone that they run. So now, Jason Tatum, when he's coming off that ball screen, he doesn't have Bam Adebayo kind of in drop coverage like Joel Embiid was and able to hit those, his little step back 3, which I don't understand why Miami allows him for 3 quarters to put that ball in his left hand and sidestep 70,000 times.
If
everybody knows.
If I'm gonna be honest, and that's kind of the thing in the fourth too, and Charles Barkley and Shaq say it.
Chucks that.
Those are tough shots.
Super.
And he hits them. You say cool, but boy, when they don't go in,
and
it looks terrible.
He's hitting the ground a lot. Like when he goes to the bucket, those are not easy buckets he's getting. A lot of those. So by the time that fourth quarter hits, he goes to hit that sidestep. Now you have a guy really, really in your face because they're like, oh, he's shooting it.
Yeah, no.
Now, because he had 34 in the
35. They're all free throws in the fourth though.
And he had 30. So, but he had 28 going into the fourth.
Yeah, he was cooking.
Right. And it was looking bad. I was watching the game and I actually turned it off. At I think they went up. Boston went up 8 or 9 or something like that.
Yeah.
Marcus Smart hit a corner 3. I turned the game off because I was like, it's over. Because it was 5 minutes left. I was like, it's over.
Oh, you missed when Grant Williams started talking message.
No, listen, that's what I missed, right? That's what I missed. So then
should have left him alone.
I get a notification on my Bleacher Report and it said 2-point game. And I said, oh, I got to turn this back on.
Shouldn't have been
and Jimmy hit that one-handed pull-up.
Oh, it was.
And then he hit the sidestep on the baseline.
I
said, oh, this game is over.
House was on fire.
And then I saw the meme. And I said, oh.
We appreciate you.
And shout out Grant Williams, the guy who infamously told, I believe it was Donovan Mitchell, and I quote, I'm going to make both of these, and then proceeded to miss both of them. What did you think was going to happen when you got in Jimmy's face and said something to him? You missed 2 free throws just 2 months ago playing the Cavs in a regular season game. And you thought that you could come and tell Jimmy that you could guard him?
Some people's hard-headed, man. I respect Grant. It looked terrible when he got taken out, too, because he actually did score a little bit, too, himself. But him getting taken out was the funniest thing.
Do you know how bad you have to play? Yeah, you know how bad you have to be getting cooked on defense for your coach to go, yeah, man, come on, bro.
Bro, he was hot, bro. It was crazy. He's not the answer.
Super cooked.
I'm gonna say this for all the kids watching and for NBA players, everybody on all different levels. If you know basketball, I want to make this clear: the Warriors are the team that started jump shooting, winning NBA championships. That is not a thing, and they are the only team to be able to really do it. What happens if you've ever played basketball for a long time? You played basketball all day. That last game, your legs are dead. Your jump shot does not fall anymore. It does not work. So no matter how great a lot of these players are, that is why it's key to work on a post game. Get the mid-range jump shot, not threes. Get a little bit closer to the post, closer to the basket. Get easy shots. Find your shot. It's not. That's why Jimmy Butler lives with the mid-range.
Yeah.
He gets close. That little hook shot, not floater he did. It is different. You cannot live off of jump shots because by the end of the game or later in the game series, game 6, game 7, your shot usually disappears. Your legs get tired. You're done. The shots just don't fall. That's how it's normally supposed to happen. That's natural. That's why Damian Lillard usually struggles when he gets later into the playoffs. Mm-hmm. His body deteriorates. That's what's supposed to happen. Yeah. You have outliers like Stephen Curry, who's the greatest jump shooter ever. Klay Thompson, when he was in his prime, second, third best three-point shooter of all time. And Kevin Durant was probably the best pure jump shooter of all time. Just mid-range, everything you can do. Yeah. So they can do it, and it works. That's not normal for everybody. So everybody kind of fades away, and people kind of confuse it with choking. They're all players that choke, but sometimes that is the natural flow of it with players that jump shoot like how they do. Yeah. With Jason Tatum, Jason Tatum's problem is internal. I don't think it's work. I don't think it's training. I think it's internal, and it's part of like who he is. And when I say who he is, I think the best example was back when they played LeBron. The young Celtics team, and they were Eastern Conference Finals. And I remember the game, it was Game 7. I remember it. The problem with the Celtics were egos. Mm-hmm. And Jason Tatum isn't the type of guy to be like, yo, give me the ball, I'm the guy. He's a humble, confident guy. Yeah. Why is that important? Because I go back to Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals. They were down. It was a close game. Terry Rozier went down the court and chucked up some shots. Jaylen Brown went down the court to chuck up some shots. They wanted to be the man. And then finally the ball came to Jason Tatum. But at that point, they were kind of down. Jason Tatum hits like a step-back side three, and it was like he should have got the ball a while ago.
A long time ago.
And it was like his talent was showing like, yeah, no, he's the guy. And when I say his problem, he's a humbly confident guy. He doesn't just, hey, man, give me the ball, get the hell out of the way.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, it's me. And that not being him is kind of causing him problems because he's kind of going like with the flow of the game. Even if he's hot for three quarters, he's like, okay, we'll kind of flow the game out. Marcus Smart, get your shots. Jaylen Brown struggled a little bit. Jaylen Brown using the struggle. But Jaylen Brown even kind of struggles because he's kind of like, I'm the Robin. I'm accepting Robin role. Right. But they're letting the offense go, okay, Marcus Smart, take your shots. Al Horford, take your shot. Derek White, Brogdon, yeah, you guys take it. Trying to still be in the flow where Tatum should just have it like, hey, yo, give me the ball, bro. Yeah. I think that's his problem, and he's fighting with that. I thought Game 6 against the 76ers, I thought it was an epiphany for him. I thought he finally broke through, and it seems in the Heat series it still hasn't clicked with him because I'm going to say this. If you've ever played basketball, what Jason Tatum did in Game 6 is one of the most impressive things I've ever seen in my life because of the fact, the confidence in the true Mamba mentality to be broke all game. I mean, turning the ball over.
7 in the first half, ends up being like 1 for like 12 by the time the third quarter.
Bro had like 3 points.
Yeah.
And was getting stripped. I was watching the game. He was getting stripped. He was getting locked up, bro. Nothing was falling.
Yeah. And
when the rubber needed to meet the road, he was like, man, I'm taking this shot. Mm-hmm. Step back. I think it was over Embiid, too. He hit a 3 over 7 foot. He was like, cash.
Yeah.
Came out on the court, cash. Came back on the court again, cash.
Yeah.
And it was like, bro, we going to live and die with me. And I will say I respect the Celtics because everyone got in their role. And everybody was like, we're going to live and die with Tatum. Mm-hmm. And it was the most Mamba mentality thing I've ever seen. And I thought they would kind of gel after that series. And it seems there's still a problem.
I think a lot of it, I think we have to give a lot of credit to the Miami Heat simply because the adjustments that Spo is able to make.
For sure.
Like I said, going into that zone makes it extremely difficult for Jason Tatum to be able to ISO.
Yes.
For all my basketball players out there, the best way to beat a zone is to move the basketball. You got to move the ball. And what the Heat are doing is they're thinking, okay, we have the best fourth quarter closer in the playoffs right now in Jimmy Butler. We're going to bank on Marcus Smart and Grant Williams and even Jaylen Brown to an extent shooting contested, closed out three-pointers.
I will say with Jaylen Brown, they do double him too.
They have to.
They have
to. But when they go into that zone,
yeah,
they're turning Jason Tatum into a facilitator. So the first time they went into that zone, they set a pick. Robert Williams set a high pick, and they got a dump off to Robert, and he scored an and one on Bam. The next possession, same thing. Jason Tatum came down, boom, dunk for I believe it was Grant Williams.
Yeah.
After that, Miami kind of kept it in the zone, kept switching out a man, back and forth. And it confused Boston because now Jason's not taking shots because he got used to facilitating. He saw those two guys from the top come up.
So they made that switch in the fourth.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good breakdown. That's a good breakdown.
And so now he's coming off not thinking shoot. He's thinking, I'm getting this double team. Well, now you switch back to man and you go back and forth between because all they do is it's a quick call and everybody knows what they're doing. And I also think that the biggest reason why Miami was in that game was Caleb Martin.
Oh, yeah, he was hooping. Shout out Nevada.
He really, really stepped up. Jimmy wasn't cooking early. Bam was doing okay. Without Tyler Hero, somebody's got to be the other shot creator.
And they know how to draft. They get the people that are down really for the calls.
Yeah, they really do. And I think also bringing Kyle Lowry off the bench, probably the best decision that they've made.
Facts. And Kevin Love was a huge signing for them.
Yeah.
And I think my guy, he breaks it down to the NBA breakdown. Y'all got to see the trainer in him. I'm telling you, go check in with bro. Everyone on the Heat, and this is what I bring up egos with the Celtics. Everyone on the Heat knows the role.
Oh, facts.
Everyone ego is, this is my role. This is how we're going to win, and we're going to get it in. Whereas the Celtics, man, it seems there's, and I talk about the innate with Tatum, there's a question there. And that's even why they even brought in Malcolm Brogdon, even though they have a really good point guard in Marcus Smart with the defensive. Yeah. Marcus Smart's ego on the court is still, let me take this shot. I'm going to shoot this shot. And at times it's like, hold on, you supposed to be facilitating, brother. You should, flow through Tatum. Tatum's not there, flow through Brown. And the problem is it works in games. You hit a great shot, and you're like, they win the game because of it. Yeah. But then other times it's like, oh, there's that ego. And it's a problem, and it's disrupting. Thank you. For a team, a unit, whatever you do in life, in business, no matter it's sports, if you're with a team, everybody has to do their role. And I'm sure every basketball player that's ever been on a team can relate. A lot of players, even on JV, varsity, freshmen, they play better when they just play pickup. Right. Because they're not in the role anymore. Now they can show different skills. Yeah. And it's like, hey, bro, I didn't know he was that good. Right. Hey, bro, I didn't know he was this guy. I didn't know he hit these shots. Oh, my gosh. It's like, nah, bro, when I'm with the team, I play a role. And it seems that with the Celtics, even though Miami is doing great, it seems that the destruction within them is not everybody's cool with their roles, and they're not gelling with it. Because, honestly, I think they probably have, it's not the best roster. I think the roster
on paper, easily the best roster in the NBA.
Yeah, it's something innate, I believe. I think the Heat are going to win. I would say the Heat win, and I could see it going 6. I'm going to be honest. I got, probably Heat in 5.
And I don't disagree with that at all. I'm trying to give Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown their flowers. Okay. I think that you talk about it being internal. I think it really has to do with Ime Udoka not being the coach anymore. I don't think that in the fourth quarter, first of all, the Celtics in the fourth quarter have not been a great team. There's been times this season where they have been up a lot and they lose these games in the fourth quarter. I think it has to do with there is a lack of not respect, but
strong discipline.
Different. It's strong different. Discipline.
Yeah, strong discipline.
Because you look at your coach and you're like, you're not the dude that took us to a championship. We're good. Right, we're good with you as a coach. You've gotten us to move the ball around on offense. Yeah. The defense hasn't dropped. But in the fourth quarter, there's something about being a coach that you have to resonate with, especially with grown men. You have to be able to resonate. And I don't think that Mazzulla is able to do that with the role players, especially, and I don't think he's able to do that with Jaylen Brown.
And it's hard when you come in on a team that did just go to the championship, and you have no prior, and you weren't supposed to be the coach. Everything was. This was not a part of the play.
Everybody was cool.
Yeah, everything was good.
And then all of a sudden, one day, everybody wasn't cool no more.
Yeah. So, and although I do think their defense has definitely suffered because of it. I think their defense is their number one problem for sure. I think the innate ego still would have been a problem in general. I think Tatum would have had to overcome that. And I think he still has to overcome that. But yeah, their defense has suffered ridiculously because Udoka is not, because it's all the same players. So it's fascinating. I feel bad for the Celtics. Hopefully they figure it out. But then I don't, because I'm a Laker fan. So